You're good.
Make sure to check it. Yo, welcome back to the Out of the Box Show. I'm John Wallace alongside my co-host James Luffy, and we are back. LSU gets the job done in Tiger Stadium against the Arkansas Razorbacks. We had a Razorback roast. Great weekend of football. Great weekend in Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge. The Tigers get the job done. Was kind of a nail biter. What didn't quite live up to the, I believe the spread at one point reached like 19 points. In throughout the gambling week. But I don't know exactly what it closed at. But at one point, whenever we recorded last week, they were 17-point favorites. And I think both of us were pretty hesitant to take that. I need to look up what our exact score predictions were, but overall, the Arkansas Razorbacks are going back up north with a loss in the loss column. We're going to break it all down. We're going to look ahead to this weekend at Ole Miss. The Lane train is coming to the train station this weekend, and the LSU Tigers are meeting them there. Going to be another great weekend of football. We cannot wait to get to it. But before we get to all that, I want to give a huge shout out to the Boot Crew Media Network. Content. You will not be able to stop the content. The train keeps rolling and the party never ends with the Boot Crew Media Network. Make sure to check them out. They are breaking news left and right. They are covering all of the LSU injury report to LSU and Brian Kelly's press conferences to the Saints. Certain pop culture articles, podcasts, you name it, bootcrewmedia.com, and on social media at bootcrewmedia. Also, just like fall and football season is the best time of year, Blaine Loop is the best realtor of the year. Blaine is with Forte Realty, and they're a young group of real estate professionals ready to take the state by storm. Blaine has been my personal realtor for real estate transactions in the past and will be in the future. Blaine is the man. Call or text him at 504-858-0031 for all your housing needs. All right, Luffy. LSU got the job done this past weekend in Tiger Stadium. Didn't quite cover the spread. We're not complaining about that. A win is a win is a win. Final score was LSU 34-31. And I want to start the show where, obviously we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of the game and whatnot. But as I was rewatching the film, as you know, I was at a wedding on Saturday. Very unfortunate. Couldn't watch the entire game, 100%. So I was rewatching it a little while ago, and one of the first things Kirk Herbstreit said during the broadcast in the first quarter was that it kind of feels like a flat environment in Tiger Stadium. Was there any truth to that, or was that him just
Yeah,
hating on LSU? Or
yeah, no, it was. I mean, there was people at the game, but you could tell that it was flat, and I think the environment always reflects the team's effort. The point spread does not help. Now it's so public; everyone knows we're a 20-point favorite. I hate that that's a thing, and people know that because it shouldn't have been 20 points. We sat here and said that, and the team comes out flat. Jaden spike some balls in the dirt. We don't look like we want to be out there and play, and they don't look motivated. And yeah, that's was reflected in the crowd for sure.
yeah, I mean, just judging by watching it on TV and whatnot, the general vibe, I couldn't really tell. But you would think like you said, there's two sides of it, right? One is that we're 17-point favorites, but the other side would be to say that the LSU Arkansas game for the past 4 years now has been decided by 3 points exactly every year. They always get up for us. They always put up a fight. I think Pittman is a good coach. He's just at Arkansas that has a ceiling. But yeah. I don't know if I assume that played into kind of how the first half went. Very slow for LSU. Not exactly what you expected to see out of the boys. Obviously, Luffy, you mentioned at the end of the podcast last week, we didn't know at the time, but the Greg Brooks news might have had the guys a little shook up. But I feel like the team rallied around it and is doing their best to fight and play for him. Luffy, your thoughts Obviously, prayers and thoughts with Greg Brooks and his family. But
Yeah,
thoughts on
they
that
knew,
situation.
John. We knew last week. But has there been some positive news? Seems like Coach Kelly said he started doing some rehab today, or whenever he saw them. I don't know which day that was, but so I think there is some positive news. Obviously, he's got a long ways to go. But yeah, I think that um, the team was definitely playing for him. He had the stickers on the helmet, but you can see where and how we're missing Greg Brooks pretty easily when you turn on the tape and watch his defense. The safeties are bad. I mean, there's no other way around that. The corners are below average, and they struggled throughout this game.
Yeah, and I think uh, the main guy that I think is probably the biggest topic as far as our DBs go. Like obviously we know what we got. Like we saw Chestnut. He made a few good plays in the Florida State game, but did get burned over the top a few times. Major Burns is making tackles here and there. He had a beautiful stop on the goal line in the first half of the Arkansas game to prevent a touchdown. Um, but you're right. But I think the player that everybody is kind of wondering about or hasn't had their expectation met about is Denver Harris. It was pretty evident that he's still I guess acclimating himself to LSU's way about him. He's still young.
I haven't rewatched the game, so I don't know how Harris did. But I mean, he didn't seem to stand out in a negative way for me. It's really Sage Ryan and Major Burns that are struggling. And I mean, obviously Zai loses his eyes on that one play, and the guy gets behind him and scores a touchdown. But it's a group disappointment back there. It's not one guy. Brian Kelly said this, and they've got to get a lot better. And Matt House has to figure out something to do on third down. We are 105th in the country on third down defense. It's atrocious. They've got to figure out what to do, and it's probably going to start with some pressure and some different blitzes. But these zone coverages, when KJ and you have a quarterback like him who could run around and scramble, buy time for himself, we're just getting burned on the back end. But that starts with Matt House.
Yeah, I think it. The thing about Matt House last year was his ability to make adjustments, mainly at halftime, but throughout the season. I am interested to see how he. I mean, the thing is that this what stinks so much about this is that we knew going into this season there was going to be question marks around the DBs, and it almost feels like a question that you can't answer or something that you don't know the answer to on a test that you're taking in college. I don't know, but hopefully, my hope is that um, our defensive line. It's almost like is our defensive line going to be able to outweigh the bad on our defensive back room, right?
Yeah,
Um, coaching you can only do so much. Harold Perkins was a factor in this game. He was getting pressure on KJ Jefferson. Uh, Credit to
and
KJ Jefferson. He was kind of picking us apart, tearing through us. They were able to run the ball and throw in the intermediate passing game pretty well. And then when KJ Jefferson got in trouble, he would just run the ball. Um, Credit to him for that. Um, One thing to note: Dwight McGothern picked off Jaden Daniels in the first quarter. Might have been nice to have him in the defensive back room this year.
yeah.
And then I think the very next play, right after that, Andre Sam picks the ball right
Yeah,
back off.
he's been the one bright spot back there so far, John. He has he's playing harder and seems to be playing faster each game. Um, and that's it's a positive for us, and we're lucky we got him. We've got to get some better recruits in here and develop some DBs because if not, you can't rely on the transfer portal every year. Last year we got lucky, hit on some guys, but this year we haven't, and it's cost us so far.
Yes, yes, and Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's like we're in this odd situation in college football. It's like, what do you focus on more, the transfer portal, or do you focus on recruiting these guys coming out of high school and even in some cases in middle school, right? Um, but I don't know. I guess what I was trying to say about Denver Harris is that just the hype around him, um, before the season, coming into the season, oh, this guy's the most raw talent you've ever seen at corner. The name Stingley being mentioned in the same breath. I just feel like either the expectation was set too high to start off with, or um, he's got some learning to do, right? So hopefully Matt House, like you said, can get that figured out, and we can steadily improve throughout the season.
Yeah, a couple
Uh,
guys as we wrap up the talk on the defense that had good games. Whit Weeks is playing hard out there. Perkins, obviously, they try to drag him out, and he was in coverage some, which you hate to see as an LSU fan. And Mekhi Wingo continues to impress, and a guy I think needs more snaps is Jordan Jefferson. Played well. I think he's playing better than Mason Smith right now. And we'll get more reps this week against a team that wants to establish a run in Ole Miss, I think.
yes, and looking a little bit at the offense in the Arkansas game, I do feel comfortable with our running back situation. We have been
Yeah,
able to establish the run this year. Logan Diggs has been phenomenal. He ran for 97 yards on 14 carries. Josh Williams had that big breakthrough run in the second quarter for
yeah. I think
41.
he only had one carry in that, and that was it. Yeah,
That's only one carry. Jaden Daniels. These were mostly scrambles and a couple design runs, and a few triple option. But Jaden, or option plays on the goal line and whatnot, so there wasn't much yards to gain. But Jaden Daniels, 45 yards, 10 attempts. Caleb Jackson, John Emery. John Emery, I feel like they tried to put him in on the goal line a couple times, and it just didn't work out. I'd need to go back and look at the tape to see if it was a missed block or him missing the hole.
yeah,
But we have a stable back there, so I do feel pretty confident in that. I think Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors absolutely were the keys to the game. They both
yeah.
had two touchdowns.
Yeah, Brian Thomas made a couple great plays. The play before the half that kind of got us back into the game, and then the play on the underthrown ball from Jaden that got tipped up into the air and they collided, and then he caught it and ran in. So he was the difference maker in this game, and it was good to see Mason Taylor back out there. You could tell he wasn't 100%. Brian Kelly said he was around 60%. Hopefully, he can get back to closer to full strength this week against Ole Miss because we definitely need him out there. But yeah, the offensive line I thought had a good game, good guard play, and that was really important to us running the ball, like you said, John. So if the offensive line can continue to get a little bit better each week, they can end up being an elite unit.
So Jaden Daniels threw for 20 completions on 29 attempts,
Yeah,
threw for 320 yards. I'm pretty sure he's thrown for over 300 yards every game this year, 4 touchdowns. Did have that pick to McLaughlin in the first. But something I've been hearing, just, armchair quarterback, people at work, whatever, is some people aren't really a fan of Jaden Daniels like throwing the ball deep, right? Like it feels sometimes like, or not sometimes, like it feels like it's underthrown a lot, and a lot of the completions are, pretty short passing plays. What are your thoughts
I thought
on him?
everyone wanted him to throw it deep. Last year, everyone wanted him to throw it deep.
Well, no. What I'm saying is when he does throw it deep, it's underthrown.
Yeah, I
Is
mean, he started off the game really poorly. The fact that he finished 20 for 29 is impressive. He's got to work on that. I mean, he's got to trust the guys to go out and get it. Like Brian Thomas came back to that one right before half, and then the other one on the offsides was underthrown. But he threw a great pass to Malik Neighbors in the corner of the end zone. I don't know if you remember that one, John. Um, but that was probably the best pass second best pass he's thrown this year, up there with the state to the neighbors play. So it's a confidence thing for him, and I think that he can continue to be better. And they need to keep pushing the ball downfield like that because we're gonna have to outscore teams.
Yeah, that is generally how football works. No,
Yeah, I mean, the
I'm
defense
kidding.
isn't going to go out there and shut people down like they were able to at times last year. It's just you're going to have to go and score 30, 40 points in each of these SEC games.
No, I mean obviously.
So, I mean, what do you think about Jaden throwing it? Obviously, he misses some throws, but he's 20 for 29 is pretty good.
Well, the majority of people that are mad about him underthrowing the ball are the people that wish Nussmeier was in the game, and they think that
Yeah,
it would just automatically be better if we had a guy that could just launch the
and,
ball.
and that's not happening unless he gets hurt. So I don't see how you can be a fan and uh, get hung up on that at this point. Like that's not going to happen unless something were to happen to Jaden, which it's probably doesn't because he's our best option right now. Um, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I mean, Kelly trusts Brian. I mean, he trusts Jaden, and he knows that Jaden can run and make these elite plays on the ground with his feet, and it makes him a special player.
Yeah, and I was just curious today looking at the Heisman odds.
Yeah, he's still up there.
He's still on the board. I'm pulling it up right now, but he's still
He's
like
like
in
15
the.
to 1, 20 to 1, something like that.
I see it right here. He's 18 to 1. So
Yeah, they're right in the middle.
obviously, I mean, obviously he's not like he's not number two like he was to start the season. But I mean, um, this year, I mean, who's to say that? Man, I haven't even heard of some of these guys. Obviously, um, I
You
would
go to
recognize.
Shador Sanders, I heard.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Shadur Sanders should be say that 8 times
Who's
fast.
a Shador?
Should be the Heisman favorite at this point, but I don't know. We're gonna get to that, Luffy. Sneak peek. I lost my house always wins college pick this past weekend, but um, yeah, I don't know. Obviously it's not really worth keeping on talking about. They're rolling with Jaden Daniels, and I think he's doing a fine job. I think I need to pull the tweet, but there was a tweet that says he's like throwing for over 300 yards a game and some sort of record that he was going for, and I didn't know there was even records that could be beat after Joe Burrow came and left from here. So all that to say, I think he's definitely still your best shot at winning. All right, Luffy, how was the first SEC home game of the year? Was the environment around the stadium? Was it live and well? Did you
Yeah, it
see a
was
lot of
good.
pig roasting?
It was good. It was we had a good time tailgating, so that was all good. A lot of people wanted hats. I didn't have hats on me, just I didn't want to carry around a bag all day and have to bring them way
You
back
said
to
you
the car.
would. You said
Huh?
you were. You said
I
you
was
were.
planning on it, but the where we parked it ended up like being too far away. But no, I said I would if someone Venmoed me before. I did actually bring people hats, but they were all pre-Venmoed, and I brought a couple out with me. So
So the Out the Box podcast is
we
now
do
in the.
have like plenty of hats left too. So let us know if you want them. I need to throw them back up on the ground.
Yes. We need to make sure to do that when we post the episode. That way, the people can get double for nothing.
John,
So,
You know who's loving his hat?
Garbage Man.
Martine Patio. He is loving his hat. He's been wearing it around. And if you see him and you need a storage container, you need a portable office, you need a luxury restroom rental, you need a roll off dumpster, you need a porta potty, they are the cleanest in the business. You have to call Workbox LLC. It's 225-343-4886. Ask for Martine. If you need a porta potty, storage container, portable office, luxury restroom rental, roll off dumpster, call Martine at Workbox. It's 225-343-4886.
Alrighty, this Saturday, September 30th, LSU heads up to Oxford to take on the Ole Miss Rebels at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Weird game time. I don't know if I like that. It's kind of caught in between the 2:30 and the 6:30 games, but we're gonna have to make do. The Lane Train and Ole Miss is coming off a loss to the Alabama Crimson Tide by a score of 24-10. Um, I feel like Lane's going to be pissed after losing to Nick Saban, just after getting reamed out for all that time when he was an assistant under Saban, and getting yelled at in his face, like probably has Saban spit all over his face and his clothes. I feel like he's going to come out slinging. I feel like Jackson Dart, and the boys, I feel like they're going to try to establish a run. They're going to air it out. They're going to do whatever they got to do to put up more points and to take advantage of our what I think everybody knows is pretty weak secondary.
Yeah, this will be a tough game. We tend to struggle at times playing in Oxford, and they are going to be up for this game. This is a game that they seemingly always get up for, and a little stat someone tweeted out earlier, I retweeted. Ole Miss leads the nation in 20-yard passing rate, which is not good. We've struggled in that area, and hopefully we can pick it up. And Lane does not pick on our secondaries. And Dart, again, coming off a loss. I think the thing you have to do to Dart is you have to hit him, and you have to hit him hard early. Harold Perkins needs to destroy him. If you remember last year, John, it was 17-3. We were playing Ole Miss, and what changed in that game?
Harold Perkins.
Harold Perkins. And what did Lane do? He was crying in the press conference after. He was sitting there whining. Oh, we couldn't block 40. We couldn't block 40. I don't know what you want me to do. Because after that, they didn't score, and couldn't move the ball. So, they will be prepared for him this year and have a scheme to probably try to bring him out of the box. Shout out the box.
Nice. Nice.
You like that, John. That was for you.
Yep.
So if they're able to scheme Perkins out of the game, I really start to get concerned about this one. And Judkins, their running back, hasn't gotten going this year. It'll be interesting to see if we're able to kind of keep him at bay.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I think LSU's defensive line's got to step up. How long is Spates out?
Brian Kelly said no one was doubtful on the injury report, so I'm assuming he's back. Now, with Weeks being probably a little bit faster, it would be interesting to see if – no, I think that if Spates is healthy, he's going to play some, and they're going to rotate him. But I expect to see Weeks kind of get better each week, and I'm on fire.
Yeah, you are.
And still play a lot, so –
yeah, and that's where I was going with that. I mean, Weeks played very well against Arkansas, true freshman. Having him and Spates to kind of solidify up the middle, and leaving Harold Perkins to rush the edge could be pretty dangerous. And like you said, I mean, this is going to sound really stupid to say as well, but if you get to the quarterback before the receiver has time to beat our secondary over the top, then we're good, right? Like theoretically, we're good. So yeah, I was definitely impressed by Weeks this past week. Wow, that I don't like it.
That's a big good one. We got a couple more years at least.
Oh no. I already get crapped on enough for people think I make dad jokes and whatnot, and I mean,
now you're just set up perfectly.
Yeah, but dude, I don't discriminate. A good joke is a good joke, and if it's a good dad joke and it makes you laugh and it's funny, some people will like they'll hear a dad joke and they'll laugh, and then they'll be like, "Ho ho, that was a good dad joke, dude." And it's like, why'd you laugh then? Why'd you laugh? You know?
Yeah. No, I feel you.
I just completely turn on a dime and I get all serious and I'm like, "You better laugh sincerely at my joke." All right. I think that about does it. I was looking at I've been kind of neglecting to look at the forecast.
I'm going this
Before.
weekend, John. It's good. Weather's good.
Are you? I was gonna ask that. So is this kind of like Trouble in Paradise situation?
Um,
Um,
um, it's kind of a we better win this weekend situation.
we better win this weekend, or it's gonna be a long ride home for.
A long,
Uh,
dude. It's so far. I got
yeah,
like 11 hours in the car this weekend.
yeah. I was in Tuscaloosa on Saturday. I wasn't stopping there or anything. I was just driving through, but um, yeah, when you're in enemy territory, you just nothing is worse knowing you have 5 or 6 hours to drive back. Um, and being amongst the enemy. So yeah, it looks like sunny at kickoff, 90 degrees. Ought to be. I don't know. The 5 o'clock game might be a little. You might be sweating into halftime, but after that you should be good.
Yeah, it's
All
gonna
right,
be hot during the day, but it's gonna be like 60s at night.
there you go. All right, let's get
Yeah.
to the
Prediction?
house. Okay. Sorry, I'm a little off my game. Like the you can probably tell by listening to this, but the season's changing. It's got me all messed up. It's like the 6 month sinuses. I know you were battling that a couple weeks ago, and I thought I had like gotten away with it without getting it. But apparently I had to pay the piper. So all right, I think. Whew, I don't know, man. This one stinks because if you remember, Luffy, in our original season prediction, we went through every game. This was one of the games that I predicted we were going to lose. Um, Obviously, things have changed
You can change
drastically.
that though. I mean, there's. I'm not like
Things,
gonna hold you to those.
no, no, I agree. No, I'm just saying things have changed drastically since then. Um, I think LSU struggled. In the first half against Arkansas, they always get up for LSU. I think LSU. Um, they went on the road to Mississippi State and got the job done pretty handily. I think either it's going to be a really close game, kind of like the Arkansas game, or LSU wins by I don't know a touchdown, 10 points. I think the line on the game is -2.5. So I'm going to go a little bit lower score, and I'm going to go like 28-21. Like just a like not it's not a weird score, but it's just only touchdowns. Um, I just that's what I'm feeling.
Whew, I'm gonna go 31-27 Ole Miss.
Dude, you can't be going to the game and pick us to lose.
I mean, it doesn't mean I'm not cheering for us. I don't. Some people get that wrong. Some people get that wrong, and people do love the. What was our score predictions, John, last week?
So I was actually going to say that. So I had LSU winning 48-20. Could not have been more wrong. You were in the 38-25 range. So final
Yeah.
score
What
was
did we score? We scored
34.
38, huh?
We scored 34.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, so you definitely were a little bit closer. Um, I do believe the over hit. I do believe the over
Yeah.
hit.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Tell
We
you
both
what
like
though,
the over, I believe.
I'll tell you what. Well, in a game like that, you got to be ready to snipe the live bet, right? Because uh, there was no way LSU was going to lose in Tiger Stadium to Arkansas, right? Like there was no
Yeah, I
way.
never felt like we were going to lose. It was just frustrating, and also you don't have service in the game, so that's part of the live betting issues. But
Yeah. Once they get the Caesar sports books at the concession stand, you'll be able to go get your Tiger dog, your Mr. Pibb, and place a wager on the Tigers. Um,
speaking of house always wins,
yeah, let's get on over to the House Always Wins segment presented by the
call
House.
Casey this weekend. He was out at the tailgate. He was
Yes.
wondering why we didn't have the flag going. I said, "Hey, this is not an out the box tailgate. Um, John is out of town this weekend, so don't come for us. We will have one soon at some point, and the flag will be there.
Oh, I'm for sure. Like I haven't been able to tailgate this year. I'm so ready. I'm thinking Auburn. We're gonna blow it out, Luffy. We're gonna have an ice luge. We're gonna have a water slide, maybe a slip and slide. So you can do your mud slide from when LSU beat Alabama that Stu Feiner called you out for when he wished you happy birthday. Um, I think we might go big. I think we might do it. I think we might have a dunking booth. How's that sound?
Wow,
Dunking
that sounds
booth,
like a ton of work.
dunking booth, ice luge, and we're gonna hire a chef to come out there and just make some fantastic tailgate food. What do you say?
Sounds great.
All right. As I was saying, the House Bar in Tigerland is the sponsor of the House Always Wins segment. Like you said, Casey, I'm sorry that we were not flying the flag. We will do better next time. Yeah, I would say I was out of town, but that would mean that I'm making excuses, and I'm not, because that's not what we're about here. Get on over to the House Bar in Tigerland. It is the best bar. You can watch the game there. You can go there after the game. You can go there before the game. You can go get your wristbands so that way, whenever you go after the game, after LSU wins, you don't have to wait in the line. You know why the line is so long? Because everybody wants to go to the house. Go get your wristband before the game. The game's at 5. You can get over there for I'm sure they'll open around noon or so you can go get it. And if you're not going to the game, go sit in there and eat a piece of pizza and drink a Miller Lite and watch it. So House Bar in Tigerland, shout out to Jeff and Casey, the boys over there. All right, Luffy, do you want to start with NFL or college?
Yeah, I'll start with NFL. I had the Lions last week. They cover easily, and for college, I had the Crimson Tide. They also cover easily. Of course, my thing just uh, went away. All right, this week I have the Jags. I'll be jagging off um, in Jacksonville because they lost to the Houston Texans last week. They're playing Atlanta. They're back at home. Coming off a loss to the Texans, if you're a real team, if you're going to make the playoffs, you have to cover 3 against the Falcons. And John, do you want to go your NFL?
Yes, I will. So, I had probably the lock of the century last week. I picked the over 48 points in the Broncos Dolphins game. I
Yeah, that was
knew,
easy. Yeah.
I knew that they were going to come out and score 90 combined total points. Um, all right. Oh, we're going to talk about the Saints in a minute. I got burned on that along
Wait,
with
what'd you
everybody
do in
else.
college? What did you do in college?
Oh, college, I had Colorado plus 21. I wasn't even. I wish I didn't even have
That
to
was
say that.
that was the worst bet in the history of the world.
Eh, dude, hey, just because Coach Prime, you know, couldn't compete with Oregon in year one, after Colorado was what.
It's an offensive line thing, man. Like and defensive line, like just looking at their line when we watched them play those first couple games, like their right guard doesn't look much bigger than me. You know, it's like Oregon has real dudes on that team.
Right? Yeah, I mean, it's like a talent gap thing. Like it
Yeah,
just is what
huge,
it
huge
is.
talent gap thing. That line should
Like
have been 40.
you can only get so far, right?
Yeah,
But I don't know, dude. I mean, shoot, Colorado has. I mean, it would not have shocked me at all if they covered 21 points. Maybe slow the ball down, drain the clock, run it. But they didn't have what's his name, Travis Hunter. So
yeah,
um,
wouldn't have mattered, but yeah, that
no,
did
I
hurt
agree.
them.
I agree. All right. Oh man, honestly, this slate kind of. I don't know if I really like it that much. So you pick the Bills, correct?
No, Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. Ooh, Jackson. That was an embarrassing loss last week, but I do
You
like the
cannot
comeback.
lose to the Texans and then lose to the Falcons and be
Oh, it's
a real
early in the
football.
morning too. London game.
Yeah.
Wembley Stadium. All right.
All right.
Titans stink. Bengals -2.5. 12 o'clock on Fox. Joey B. They got the win on Monday Night Football. They won by 3. And consequently, I had them with the spread, which was 3. This one's 2.5. So you got rid of the little half-point dinger there that gave me a push. But that's fine. So I'm rolling with it. Bengals -2.5.
Okay.
All right. So,
College.
well, hold
We
on.
went 3-1 last weekend. That's pretty good, John.
Yeah, I mean at 75% winning.
Can't get much better than that.
Right. So, all right. College. What's your pick?
I think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna go with Clemson after kind of blowing that game last week. 6 point. I mean, I'm between. Yeah, I'll go with Clemson. I'm Clemson -6. Is it 6? Clemson -6 at Syracuse. Um, I think after last week, hopefully they don't kind of give up, quit on the season, and they continue to get better and roll over the Syracuse team, which I think they should.
All right. I need you to pull a line for me. I
Okay.
need a line on the Notre Dame Duke game.
Yeah. See, that was between this. It's the same. It's 6.5, right in that area. 5.5 right now.
All right. I'm taking Duke. I'm taking Duke with the points.
Plus 5.5. Okay. You can take 6 if you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah. No, I'll take 5.5. I'll do it fair and square. I got a
Yeah.
tip. I got a tip on Duke. Um, I just have a feeling. I don't know. I didn't get a tip. I just have a feeling, right? I got a tip from myself that I think Duke is going to win this game. They may win outright. I don't know. I think this is probably honestly the LSU Ole Miss game is one of the better games that day. I don't know. I feel like the game of the day is between LSU and Ole Miss and um, Notre Dame and Duke. I feel like those are the best 2 games that day. I mean, I don't see any other top um,
Probably
top 25 matchups.
LSU, Florida, Kentucky, South Carolina, Tennessee,
Yeah, I mean they got a few good games, but I mean these
Colorado, USC. They're going to talk about that.
Colorado USC. That one ought to be interesting. I wonder what the line is on that. I'll have to look into it. So, alrighty. Before we end the show, Luffy,
Who's Missouri play?
I don't know, but they
I'll go look
better
them up.
Missouri better save themselves this weekend because the following weekend,
Vanderbilt. Okay, never
yeah,
mind.
they do.
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt. All right, calm me down about the Saints loss.
I didn't watch the second half, and I'm glad I didn't. I watched the first half, had to go back home for the afternoon, and very Saints, very Dennis Allen. Group gang, no longer a groupie. Um, Disappointing, but the Saints defense is so good. It's sad to see that the offense and the line is that bad. You could just combine LSU's offense. You just take LSU's offense and take the Saints defense. You'd have a good football team.
Honestly, in my opinion, I don't think you can really blame the offense or the defense. Yeah, Jameis is Jameis. Yeah, he's the backup. But I mean, when Carr went down, you have to go into all right. It's survival, maintain, and drain the clock mode. And I just feel like I know kind of what they were doing. They were trying to maintain this, this rhythm of running and passing the ball. But Jameis was quite inaccurate. He was getting pressured. You can't blame it on Groupie for missing. I think it was like a 46-yard field goal. Um, obviously would have loved to made it, but that's a tough spot at Lambeau Field. yeah, it was definitely just ripped your heart out. But like you said, it was just a very Saints way to lose a game. Also, Kirk Cousins trying to come back. I forget who they were playing, but it was very late in the game, and they got all the way down to the 5-yard line with 42 seconds left, and only got one play off, to which Kirk Cousins threw a pick in the end zone. So I don't know if you can tell, but I was pretty distraught after those two losses.
Yeah, I banned myself from the Vikings. I've had a
I should
Vikings
have.
addiction over the last maybe like 2.5 years. Call it 3 years of Viking addiction, and I banned myself. So
Hey, how about you got on me in the past few years for being addicted to betting the Packers, but no
well,
more.
Rodgers isn't there, so that kind of doesn't count.
I know. I know. Alrighty, I think that about does it for our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. We cannot thank y'all enough. We are sorry again to the House Bar in Tigerland for not flying the house flag. That is on us. We will make up for it. I really would like to get out to LSU to tailgate at some point. It is very
Yeah,
unusual for
I
LSU
heard
to
I
be
heard
four
a lot of
games.
people calling you the F word, fraud,
Uh,
this past weekend. So
Hey, I'll wear it. But yeah, it is quite unusual that LSU is 4 games into the season, and I haven't been out to campus or to a game yet. So um, soon enough, soon enough. Luffy, you have a great time in Ole Miss. Um, Shout out to the House Bar in Tigerland, Workbox LLC, Blaine Loop with Forte Realty, and the Boot Crew Media Network. And with that, Luffy, you gonna I heard the Grove is a far walk to the stadium. Is that true?
it's not that far. I mean, it's not like right there, but it's not like I don't know. I don't mind walking, so I'm probably a bad person to ask. But the Grove's small. Have you not been?
I've never been.
Wow.
It would have been cool to get invited. Um,
Yeah.
this coming weekend. But I
Well,
not saying
you're welcome
not
to
saying
come, but I'm not staying. I'm staying with some people I don't really like. It's somebody else's house, so
well that's fine. They would like me.
yeah, come on.
No, Luffy, you go have fun. I'll hold down the fort here, and I'll probably end up at Ivar's.
Yeah, I'll try to bring us back a win.
Yes.
Go Tigers.